Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? It's your man, J. Kevin Johnson here. Today, I'm going to talk about habits, the power of habits, and why it's important that we are mindful and intentional and purposeful about the behavior that we do on a regular and continual basis. There's a quote that's attributed to Aristotle saying that we are what we repeatedly do. Success is not an action, but a habit. Success is not an action, but a habit. So this is important. This is essential. And this is something I was always curious about when it comes to not only maintaining and achieving excellence and mastery in your life, but being able to sustain that over the course of your life over a long period of time. And when it comes to living a life in which you are living more and more in line with what your Heavenly Father has designed you to be, and more in line with what you want to be as far as where you're being led, and especially in this world, it's essential. It's very important that we cultivate the habits that's going to help us not only to achieve that lifestyle, but of what we call success, but to maintain it and sustain it over the long haul, over the marathon. We got to remember that this is a journey, not a sprint. So it's important and essential that each and every one of us cultivate endurance and stamina and set up systems and set up strategies and behaviors that's going to help us live in line and stay on track with what we are designed and purposed to do. Stay in your lane and keep it going. Keep that fire going. Keep that passion and that zeal going. But given that we are human beings, that's not always the case. So it's important that we have habits that's locked into us that will help us keep us on track. And when we do get off track, to help bring us back on track. I just got through reading a book by Brendan Bouchard called High Performance Habits, How Extraordinary People Become That Way. And also I would add that how not only have extraordinary people will come that way as far as being high performers, but how they sustain and keep that. And when they lose it, are able to quickly come back to a level of lifestyle of living excellence and being masters and being professionals and at the top of the pier when it comes to the things that they've determined to pay attention to spend time doing and pursuing, and have determined that this is, the thing that they want to do and live with their life. I'll name off the 6 real quick because I think they're very important. Then I'll swing back around. He talks about number 1, seeking clarity. 2, having the ability to generate energy. Number 3, raising necessity. Number 4, increasing productivity. Number 5, developing influence. And number 6, demonstrating courage. I'll come back through. And he talks about these 6 habits that when you that anybody can cultivate, that regardless of whether you have natural talent or not, regardless of who you are as an individual. This is something that anybody can learn, anybody can be taught, anybody at any point in their life in some form, shape, or fashion can be that can have cultivated in their life that will help them live the best version of them that they can with respect to where you may find yourself at a particular point in life. So these are habits that these are principles, these are habits, these are things that anybody, anywhere, anytime, any culture, any race, any religion, anybody can form and instill in their life that will help them live a life that they call successful and prosperous, whatever that may be for you. So going back to seeking clarity, high performers, they don't necessarily get and attain a clarity, but they're always seeking it more often than other people. So they tend to find it and stay on their true path. And this is very important when it comes to your walk, to your life in general, when it comes to health, wealth, love, and happiness. And that high performers, people who are living their quote unquote best life now, are people who are constantly thinking about, their vision and thinking about what it is that they want to achieve and where they're going. It doesn't mean that they don't lose their way, but it means that they're constantly checking and making sure that they're on the right path and on the path that they want to be on. Number two, high performers are constantly generating energy. They know how to stay energized. And in this world, it is definitely important to know how to stay energized and generate your own energy, given that there are so many things that tug at us and so many things that is fighting and jockeying for position as far as our attention and our energy and our finite time. We are very limited in one respect with attention and with our energy in one respect. But first and foremost, you got to learn how to tap into and learn how to not only tap into, but release and relieve the toxic stuff when it comes to tapping into the Creator, the Most High, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, and staying in connection with Him. And then also emotionally knowing how to release toxic emotions and stay positive and peaceful, and mentally, like again, staying clear and non-confused, and then physically learning how to generate that physical energy where you have endurance and stamina, making sure that you're well rested, getting sleep, and making sure that you are stretched, making sure that you are relaxed, and not anxious, making sure that you are exercising. These are things that are scientifically proven to help you generate and stay highly energetic. This is very important today. Number three, raise necessity. As far as one of the habits, raising necessity, meaning that you always have a psychological necessity regarding how of why it's important for you to perform well. So keeping that why and having a big enough why, or big enough whys, or a couple of whys that's going to help you push past and stay disciplined. And it's going to help create in you that sense of urgency. That's going to help create in you that mindset and help you keep that perspective of this is what I have to do. This is what must be done. It's not that I want necessarily that I want to do it, but this is just who I am. This is what must be done. Has to be done. It's a must do. So, raising necessity, having your why always in place, or your whys always in place, or making sure that your whys are big enough. Who knows what that could be for you, whether it be you're doing the things that you do for your family, your friends, your community, or just for yourself, for, in the service of others. Just having something that's going to help you raise the sense of urgency and necessity in your life. Number four, increasing productivity. High performers increase the outputs that matter. It means that they only spend time and say yes and keep things, stay on task with things that actually truly matters. that, the 80-20 principle is always in place for them. There's 80% of things that we could do, like answering email and strolling on Facebook and this, that, and the other, that is part of that 80% that doesn't matter, versus the 20% in your life that if you just focused on that and kept at that, those tasks, those 1 or 2, 3, 4 tasks, that's really going to help you increase your outputs, so to speak. So, in other words, one of his quotes is, "Keep the main thing, the main thing." Those couple of things in your life that really matters and has a huge impact. It's like the old fulcrum, I guess you could say, with levers and stuff. Just being able to stay focused on the 20% that's going to affect the 80%. Number 5, develop influence. And what that means is just being able to make sure that your relationships are strengthened and that you're tapped into a network and stay communicating and stay in relationship with people and keeping things in order in that way. High performers develop influence by teaching and learning and teaching how to think and challenge others to grow, as well as allowing themselves to be challenged, coached, and grown. So just knowing that you are a steward and that each and every one of us, you have a sphere of influence, and just knowing that you have to be intentional and purposeful about that influence. And then number 6, demonstrating courage. We have a tremendous amount of research on courage, and we find that in the face of risk, hardship, judgment, the unknown, or even fear, high performers tend to do a couple of things. They speak up for themselves, they share their truth, their ambitions more often, and they honor the struggle. They embrace the hardships. They see trouble and strenuous circumstances as opportunities and challenges to overcome. They learn how they cultivate the skill of moving in the face of fear, or moving with fear versus allowing fear to have them stop. So just wanted to take a few moments today to talk about high performance habits and why it's essential and important when it comes to living a life, your best life now, when it comes to living and pursuing, and when it comes to your journey in this life. So hopefully something was said here to help you be inspired, live a life in which you feel like you're living, you're loving, and that you matter. And that's one of Brandon Bouchard's quotes, by the way. At the end of your life, you want to be able to answer the question: that I live fully, that I love, and that I matter. Those are the questions that really are important and that really matter. So this is J. Kevin Johnson here today with the Daily Devotion. Peace out.